All right, hello everybody. We are setting up here for hole number 3. I do believe we're going to be going for the second fairway, which means that you're going to want to set up a long iron, just in case of wood, in case you mess up and somehow it still goes in the fairway on the first side. That you have something that can I do think the shot is going to the second fairway. It's going to, just give yourself an eagle chance that you wouldn't have got otherwise. Possibly with, a small mistake. And this is the first tour where, especially guys start having decent drivers, a POC 4, a POC 7, somewhere in that range. It's going to be what you're going to want to be looking at to get to the second fairway. If you do need to see me lay up, feel free to watch my pro guide as I do lay up in pro. So it would be very similar. An expert T-box would be the same, just a little bit different wind. You could basically model my shot, but change the ball up a little bit if you wanted to even up the winds, or vice versa. You can just assume that it's going to fly another two rings downwind on whatever your aim is. So keep that in mind. But I am going to probably show you guys how to get to the other side, hopefully in the fairway. This is probably the part that I'm going to start forfeiting as well. Make sure that I don't qualify. I had a couple instances where, because I was going to run this with my guest account, and a guy hit a hole-in-one on me after I already shot, and I had no ability to forfeit. Ended up qualifying. Kind of the way that it goes, I guess. And here you can just kind of see, berserker ball. I'm basically setting up to land it right in here. And you can do this with a globe, but I'm going to save my globes since I have so many berserkers and can get so many more. And as you can see, I'm going to use basically a POC 5 spin. So you can see that there's no real advantage to having a big driver with the way that I'm about to do this shot. So you don't have to worry about that. I will go about 3 bullseyes worth of aim here. And let's see if I can't land this right perfect. There it is. There's the other side. Ooh, just in the rough. Now, I do believe that even when you get to the other side and don't have, say, the top spin. So one of the things that you can do if you, let's say, for instance, that you don't have landscape curl, like I did on my shot, you probably would have hit the fairway and probably been perfect, more or less. One of the things that I could do tomorrow for my shot is either up the top spin a little bit, since I can see that it's going over towards the right side there, or the other alternative is to just put straight top spin on, as opposed to top and right spin. So those are options. Now that is a really good executed tee shot for the expert division. So you might want to use my opponent's shot if you feel like laying up or don't have berserker balls. But as you can see, especially if I would have put on Tsunami, not Tsunami, Amazon, that this shot would be very manageable. It'd be nice to just pop it up there so I didn't have to top spin a Nirvana. But I don't think, top spin is going to be the end of the world for this club. You can see I'm kind of towards max. I'm going to play it kind of off of max distance. So right around 6 rings here is what I'm going to do. There you see perfect ball. It is landing pretty centered for the most part. Shooting towards the green, shooting towards the pin almost. So I almost was able to actually pull that shot off. And anytime that I'm using a berserker ball, I do tend to, overplay the wind. You hear guys talk about how they do their Nirvana 2 per ring. There you're seeing me go, 1.6 maybe per ring. And as you can see, it's relatively spot on. The ball's going to land in the air. It's going to be in the air a lot longer. So that's why I play a lower number. Because I need to adjust more rings to account for that extra air time. And both shots pretty reasonable. As you can see, both of us would be able to get the eagle here today. I would assume, no real issue for that guy. And I'm just going to start forfeiting out here. But hopefully you guys, figure out a method that you would like to use for that shot. If you would like to lay up and you want to see the way that I do the second shot, it might be a good idea to check out my other video where I did lay up in the pro division. And with laying up, I was still able to come away with a shot that I believe is the best way to play it. Very similar to what you saw me do with the rough iron, but the difference being when you're coming in with a wood versus a rough iron, the spin's just a little bit different. But you can see how I bring it in very slowly and just kind of hop the bunker. I do the same thing with a wood, but it requires 1 or 2 bars of backspin. So if you'd like to see that shot, feel free to check out the pro video. For the expert, I was getting a little bit more aggressive, getting down there a little bit farther. If you bring a long iron that has full backspin or a short iron that has full backspin, you could potentially give yourself a reasonable setup to maybe get that albatross, potentially. Whereas back from the wood distance, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but still technically possible. So hopefully you found that useful there, and I'll see you guys on hole number 4.